is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It is a throwback Thursday at Chase Field. Put your purple on. The D-backs will try to take 3 of 4 from the Atlanta Braves. Boy, we haven't had one of these in a while. It's our first throwback Thursday, in fact, since May 12th. And a chance for the series win. The D-backs and the Braves on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. Your pitching matchup here tonight. Matt Wisler goes for the Braves. And Robbie Ray, the left-hander, on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He's trying to win his 3rd straight start. Bob, what has made the difference lately for Robbie Ray?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with his attitude on the mound. Very aggressive with his fastball. We know he's got a real good heater in the mid to upper 90s, and over his last 3 or 4 starts, he's just committed to pounding that fastball in there. We use the term bullying down in San Diego, just bullying those Padres hitters with that upper 90 fastball.
Yeah, at Petco Park, a career-high 13 strikeouts, and he looked terrific. He's throwing that fastball a bunch, and oftentimes for strikes, as we've seen.
You know, you'd like every pitcher to have a mix of fastballs and off-speed pitches, and Robbie will use his slider quite a bit, but when his fastball is as electric as it was last time out against the Padres, he doesn't really need a secondary pitch.
Well, the Diamondbacks need an effective Jake Lamb in the middle of this lineup. We have seen Jake for much of this month battle through a brutal slump, but boy, the bat has come alive the last 2 games.
Yeah, it really has. 5 for his last 10 with some doubles, hit a home run, and you know, it's all about peaks and valleys over the course of a baseball season. The idea is to minimize the valleys, maximize the peaks, and hopefully Jake is coming out of that valley now.
He has looked terrific last 2 games, 5 for 10 with a homer. He's knocked in 4. He's in there tonight as the Diamondbacks try and take 3 of 4 from the Atlanta Braves. First pitch coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Lone View Casino. Get in on big wins. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Best Buy. Tech to impress at Best Buy. And by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life?
Back home in the desert, a throwback Thursday, our first one since the middle of May. Robbie Ray looks for his third consecutive win against the Atlanta Braves as the D-backs try and take 3 of 4. First pitch is coming up next from Chase Field on Fox Sports Arizona. The purple is out inside Chase Field. A very comfortable 78 degrees inside as the Diamondbacks try and take 3 of 4 from the Atlanta Braves before welcoming in the Cincinnati Reds for 3 over the weekend. Robbie Ray looking good in that purple, going for his third consecutive win tonight. And let's take a look at your Valley Chevy dealers lineup for the Atlanta Braves.
Here's how the Braves will line them up tonight. Ender Inciarte, the former D-back, out in center field. Adonis Garcia down at third base. Freddie Freeman at first. Matt Kemp out in left field with Nick Markakis in right. Anthony Recker doing the catching tonight. Dansby Swanson at shortstop. Gordon Beckham at second base. And the right-hander Matt Whistler on the mound.
And on the mound for the Diamondbacks, he is your Arizona Ford starting pitcher, Robbie Ray, the reigning National League Player of the Week. And coming off victories over the Mets and the Padres, Robbie tonight with a chance to win 3 straight starts for the first time in his career.
All works off that fastball for Robbie Ray. Last start against the Padres, as we mentioned in the open, just commanding that pitch vertically in the strike zone. Down at the knees, up at the letters. Down at the knees, up at the letters. That's an extremely effective way to work when you're throwing 97.
A career high 13 strikeouts last week at Petco Park against the Padres. Our eye on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Drove in the winning run last night. He's out in left field again tonight. Brandon Drury, Michael Bourne out in center field with Mitch Haniger in right field. It'll be Jake Lamb and Chris Owings on the left side of the infield with Gene Segura and Paul Goldschmidt once again on the right side. Tuffy Gosewich getting a start behind the plate tonight for left-hander Robbie Ray.
Chris Guccione behind the plate for the umpires. He'll have the balls and strikes. Alfonso Marquez is at first base. The crew chief Larry Vanover is our second base umpire tonight. David Rackley at third. And we are set to go on this throwback Thursday. It's been a while. May 12th, the last time we got to wear the old purple and teal. And this kind of sets a nice tone for the alumni game coming up on Saturday.
Absolutely. Some of the boys rolling into town already. Saw them here at the ball game last night. Should be a fun weekend. We highly encourage you to come out and take a look at the old goats as they try to relive their past.
And that is before our game, which is a 5:10 start against the Reds on Saturday. Alumni game starts at 2:30. Ender Inciarte, he's a D-back alum. 278, 3 homers. He'll lead it off.
Bunt base hit for Inciarte in the 7th inning last night. Something you always have to keep in the back of your mind when Ender's at the plate.
95 from Robbie Ray is strike one. Yeah, he's had a very good series. 7 hits and a pair of walks. He scored 3 runs. This is tap back to the mound. Robbie Ray skies up there and snags it for the first out. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies.
So far he's pulling a Satchel Paige. Doesn't need any defender other than a catcher.
Don't look behind you. They might be gaining on you. One away for the dangerous Adonis Garcia. 5 hits in the series. He's doubled and homered twice. 266 and 11 home runs on the year. Boy, you'd like to see Robbie just get that nice quick 1, 2, 3 first. Get off to a good start. Zach Greinke did that last night. Had 2 strikeouts in the first inning. You can hear Robbie grunting. 95-96. He's ahead of all in 2 strikes. So effective last week in San Diego, attacking the Padres hitters. Came right at guys all night long. A career high 13 strikeouts. It was Robbie's 3rd double-digit strikeout game in his last 6 starts. And he has now totaled 52 strikeouts in his last 35 2/3 innings. Bounces a slider, and it's 2-2 on Adonis Garcia.
Yeah, you describe Garcia as a dangerous hitter, and he is against everybody. I mean, even a hard thrower like Robbie Ray, he takes such a big swing. He'll go out of the strike zone to hit balls from time to time.
One of those guys you might overlook, but if you do, he might get you. Fastball missed at 98 miles an hour, and the count is full 3-2. With another hard fastball, but it's a 1-out walk. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Yeah, we're celebrating the 07 Diamondbacks here tonight on Throwback Thursday, so make Webby proud. And I'll tell you, Brandon Webb had some kind of season back in 07. You would love to have a starter like this in your rotation. Guy made 34 starts, had 4 complete games, 3 shutouts. I mean, he was the very definition of a horse that year. Just give him the ball and get out of the way. The bullpen, take a day off.
I'm told we can expect a Webby Booth visit over the course of the ball game.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We can talk to him about that 07 team. Had 18 wins, ERA just a tick over 3, 236 in the 3rd innings, 1st in the National League that year. Punched out 194. Not bad for a sinker ball pitcher.
Freddie Freeman. D-backs have the shift on. 1-1 to Freeman, who's hitting .288 with 26 homers. 4 hits in this series, including 2 home runs on Monday night. Oh, they're taunting Freddie Freeman. He's afraid of the dark.
You know, one thing, partner, you know, what pitch was Webby known for?
Sinker.
That's a change-up grip right there on that shot. The circle change. Yeah, he probably threw, I don't know, 3 change-ups all year, and we got a picture of it.
I heard Webby on the radio today. He's a multimedia guy today, talking about that 07 team. 2-1 on Freeman. Garcia at first. A very slow chopper into the shift. Jake Lamb has it and throws him out. Boy, Tuffy Gozawish and Chris Owings immediately both sprinting toward the third base bag with Lamb over at second making that play. Garcia had a clear shot to the third base bag. So good hustle there by the D-backs infield.
That's one thing. If you're going to play those exaggerated pull shifts, you have to know what your job is after the ball's put into play. You see that ball grounded to the right side. Everybody kind of moved that direction initially, but then Chris Owings, as you said, hit the brakes and sprinted to third. Tuffy went from home plate right to third base immediately because that's an unoccupied base by a defender with that shift on.
Well, now Garcia at second, 2 outs. And they'll put 3 infielders on the left side. Now Segura moves right behind the bag at second for Matt Kemp. And that fastball is in there for strike 1. Kemp 262, 25 home runs, and 81 driven in between the Padres and the Braves this year. 4 hits and 3 RBIs in the series. He's also walked 3 times. Robbie Ray jumps ahead 0-2. Boy, he is throwing hard tonight. Vicente Campos, acquired from the Yankees in the Tyler Clippard deal, called up before the ball game today from AAA Reno. Silvino Bracho is up here as well. Dave Stewart in the front office sending Steve Hathaway and Dominic Leone to the minor leagues. Need some fresh arms up here. It's been a long series for this bullpen already.
Hopefully fresh and effective.
1-2 now. So Campos, who has a very good track record in the minor leagues with Seattle and the Yankees. And Silvino Bracho is back here. Leone and Hathaway go down. One and 2 on Matt Kemp. Interesting to see Vicente Campos. Looking forward to it. He's been a starter in the minor leagues at 3 different levels in the Yankees system, and pitching for AA Mobile with the Diamondbacks since his trade at the deadline for Tyler Clippard. He's warming up down in the bullpen right now, so he's been a starter all year. Might take him a while to get loose. Two and 2. Danger for Robbie Ray in trying to stay aggressive and bully guys, as we like to say, attack the hitter, and overthrowing. And it looks like he's overthrown a few sliders here so far.
Maybe a little overamped early in the ball game, especially coming off that start against the Padres when he had such great success just hammering that fastball in there against the Padre hitters. Maybe just a little overamped in the early going.
Ryan Strand, Garcia at second base, 2 outs and 2-2 on Kemp. Jake Lamb at third. Robbie Ray strands the 1-out walk. Diamondbacks coming up against Matt Wisler. field, and their Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Braves is Matt Whistler. 23-year-old right-hander, his second season in the big leagues, 4-11 with a 5.16. He's been in the minors the last month after being sent down at the end of July. He was scheduled to start for AAA Gwinnett yesterday, but it was scratched and brought up to make this start tonight.
Yeah, basically a fastball slider guy. You can see he has given up 22 home runs this season. He's hung a lot of those sliders. Also has a curve and a changeup he'll use from time to time.
Gene Segura leads it off for the Diamondbacks. That's a strike. 1-1. Boy, Gene Segura last night matched career highs both in homers and runs batted in. Now with 12 homers and 50 RBIs. 2-1 on the D-backs leadoff man, who's batting .319 on the year. A dozen home runs for Segura, more than his total for the last 2 seasons combined. Here we go again. Although Whistler has been very erratic all year long, that's one reason why he was sent to the minors. But you could see Gene get a little frustrated, and it's hard to blame him. Bouncer to shortstop for Dansby Swanson, and that's the first out. Your Valley Chevy dealers line up for the Diamondbacks on this Throwback Thursday.
Gene Segura with the ground out to short to start it. He'll be at second base. Michael Bourne in center field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb down at third. Mitch Haniger in right field. Chris Owings at short. Brandon Drury in left. Tuffy Gosawish doing the catching tonight for lefty Robbie Ray.
Well, Michael Bourne, boy, is he hot. 7 hits in the series against his former team. 265 and 3 home runs. Ball 1. Michael had 3 hits and an RBI Monday night, and then a 4-hit night last night, 2 triples. He's scored 6 times in the series. Chops that one foul, and it's 1-1.
I like these unis. The guys can show off their guns a little bit. You know, Michael Bourne, you think, oh, he's just a little guy, but he put together pretty well for a little guy.
This is a great look. I'm a big fan of these uniforms. Hard not to be. Yeah, you think of Michael as a little skinny guy, but you know, time for the gun show. That's where that power comes from. He'll launch one occasionally. We've seen him do that this year. Takes that one, and it's 3-1. Matt Whistler so far 9 pitches and twice as many balls as strikes. And he walked him. All right, on defense for Atlanta, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers with Ender Inciarte in center field.
Inciarte in center, Matt Kemp in left, Nick Markakis over in right field. It'll be Adonis Garcia and Dansby Swanson on the left side of the infield with Gordon Beckham and Freddie Freeman on the right side. Anthony Recker doing the catching tonight for the right-hander Matt Whistler.
Here's Goldie. Another 3-hit night last night, his second in this series. .304 now with 20 home runs.
Whistler's given up 19 first inning runs this season. That's the 4th most in the National League. Get him early.
Michael Bourne holds. Little soft sliders in there, and it's 1-1. This was Goldie last night, his second home run in the series, into the camera well in center.
Goldie been barreling the ball a lot more consistently over the last week or so.
He has homered twice, knocked in 4 runs in the series. He's scored 6 times. Two balls and a strike, born at first. 2-2.
Yeah, Goldie and Ryan Klesko and Jeff Bagwell, first baseman to have 20 homer, 20 stolen base, 20 double seasons in back-to-back years. A lot of people don't realize Ryan Klesko at that stage of his career was a really good athlete. He could run, he could play a little bit of defense. Boy, could he hit. And Bagwell was probably the closest thing that I saw to Goldie. He was a guy that could really do everything well. He could run well, he could hit for power, he could hit for average, drive in runs.
University of Hartford, Jeff Bagwell.
Really?
Yeah, Hartford Hawk. 2-2. Came on the hands that time. Careful. Well, Yasmani Tomas again tonight, still out with that mid-back strain. Matt Whistler was with the Braves for the first 4 months this year. He was pitching pretty well early on. In fact, just past the middle of May, his ERA for the year was 2.93, but then he started getting hit hard. He won just twice in his last 12 starts. 3 straight losses to begin the second half of the year, and he wound up at AAA Gwinnett. Missed that time, and it's a full count, 3-2. This is his first big league start since July 28th, Matt Whistler. And he's walked Bourne with 1 out. Now a full count to Goldie. Jake Lamb on deck. Michael Bourne on the run. Goldie lifts it in the air, right center field. Inciarte drifting over near the pool. And that's the second out. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast tonight, it's been great to see Jake Lamb really start to come out of his slump. It's been a long month for Jake, but boy, 5 hits in his last 10 at-bats, including 3 doubles and a homer.
Well, the hits started coming. He wasn't really barreling the ball up, wasn't really driving it, but he got some hits. Hit a ball down the right field line that dropped for extra bases, lofted one into left field that dropped for a base hit, but in the last couple of games he started to get the barrel on the ball.
A homer, 3 doubles. He's knocked in 4. And he looks at a fastball for strike 1. Jake now at 265, 25 home runs on the year. And he leads the Diamondbacks with those 79 RBIs. Takes a late swing at a high fastball, and it's 0-2.
Any hitter, any hitting coach will tell you the key to success at the plate is swinging at good pitches. A little over aggressive that time. Fastball up above the top of the zone.
No need to get aggressive against Matt Whistler. Still more balls than strikes in this first inning. Foul. If there was a guy that you want to make come to you, it might be Matt Whistler out there. His first big league start in a month. Hasn't shown yet that he can throw strikes consistently tonight.
Yeah, up until 2 strikes, you really play every pitch like it's a 3-0 hit sign. Make sure it's your pitch in the zone you want to hit. Otherwise, just take it until you get to 2 strikes and then battle him as best you can. But look for something you can really do damage with.
In the dirt. Anthony Recker back there tonight keeps it in front. Former Met catcher. Second, Gordon Beckham is over there tonight. And Whistler strands the one-out walk. No score after one on this Throwback Thursday at Chase Field.
Field, scoreless game here. Robbie Ray getting better and better as the month of August goes. Last time out, 7 innings, 1 run, 13 strikeouts. If you're wondering how he gets ready for the game, well, inside the clubhouse today, blaring country music, and Daniel Hudson walked by. He said, hey, it's working for him right now. What is also working for him, I talked to pitching coach Mike Butcher, the repeatable delivery, the fastball command, which has really been a work in progress all year long. He's able to use the slider. He can use the curveball. And he said next year, if he's able to work in that changeup like they expect him to, he will be dominating.
Well, they're cranking up the country in Brentwood, Tennessee, where Robbie's from. I can tell you that.
Yeehaw.
Here's Nick Markakis.
You know, one of the things about Robbie for me, and ideally he develops a changeup that's a workable pitch for him, gets more consistent with his breaking ball, but it seems like they just let him be who he is, which is a power pitcher. Rear back and fire that fastball high in the zone.
Well, one adjustment that he did make, and he talked about it in working with Mike Butcher this offseason, is watch that first step back off the rubber. It's kind of at a 45-degree angle. Before, he would step back with that first step more horizontally, but this, he says, feels more comfortable, and he's just kind of doing what his body tells him feels right. And it's helped, he believes, a lot with the fastball command. And very first initial movement, he gets his first strikeout. He says it's just a matter of understanding his body better.
Yeah, we talk about Gene Segura on the offensive side an awful lot about how they just said, hey, go be yourself. Go swing the bat. That's what you do. Don't worry about walking. Don't worry about deep counts. Just be who you are. And I think the same could apply to Robbie Ray on the mound. You know, trying to throw two-seamers and cutters and curveballs and change-ups. Hey, you're throwing 98 for crying out loud. Go get him.
The catcher Anthony Recker looks at strike one. Record just 21 games with Atlanta this year, 291 and a homer. Got a plate appearance in last night's marathon and walked. 4 hours and 46 minutes. Just firing away with fastballs. 0-2. That's a good example right there. Here's a guy that has not hit a whole lot in the major leagues. Anthony Recker. Just Robbie Ray just comes out. Here's 95-96, quickly 0-2.
6 hitters, 6 strike ones. We love that.
Went to the slider and punched him out. Second strikeout for Robbie Ray.
Only the 6th slider he's thrown in the ball game so far. This one for a strike 3 to Anthony Recker. Nice.
Number 2.
Seemed like in the first inning he was trying to bury that slider in the dirt. That time he wanted the strike and got it. Dansby Swanson. 7 major league games into his career, batting .280. 3 hits in the series, all singles. Talking about the increased and improved command by Robbie Ray. Boy, those last 35 innings, 52 strikeouts and only 8 walks. That's by Jake Lamb, and Swanson rolls it into left, a 2-out single. Hard hit right through the hole.
Second baseman, number 7, Gordon Beckham.
Jake Lamb drawn in just a little bit down there, playing maybe a step behind the baseline. Just didn't have much range on that ball hit to his left.
First hit in the ball game for either side. The second baseman tonight is Gordon Beckham. 208 and 4 home runs. Beckham 0 for 4 in the series. He's been in a deep slump most of the summer. Swanson takes off. The throw from Tuffy is not in time, and Dansby Swanson has his first major league stolen base.
Just too much jump that time by Swanson over at first base.
And now with the pitcher Whistler on deck and a 2-0 count on Beckham, they'll finish this off by giving him the intentional walk and work to the pitcher.
Pitcher number 37, Matt Whistler.
Dansby Swanson at second, Gordon Beckham at first, 2 outs.
Heads up in that first base dugout, first base on deck circle, first base seats. Good chance Whistler's going to be tardy on the Robbie Ray fastball.
Are you suggesting they might not get around on that? Got a piece of that one. Hey fans, follow Diamondbacks baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. You can stay up to the moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, the whole thing. Just download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. 1-1 on Matt Whistler. Missed 97, and it's 2 balls and a strike. You know where Bryan, Ohio is? Is that near Coshocton?
No, it's up in the northwest part of the state, maybe 45 minutes or an hour west of Toledo.
That's where Matt Whistler is from. Bryan, Ohio, drafted out of high school there by the Padres, a 7th round pick 5 years ago.
It's the county seat of Williams County. Population of about 8,200.
Salute. 2-2. Well, there you go. Whistler went from the Padres to the Braves as part of the Craig Kimbrell Melvin Upton trade. First pitch in the big leagues last year.
Whistler's taking some pretty good hacks up there. Hasn't been able to make any kind of solid contact yet.
Making Robbie Ray throw pitches, almost 40 down. And Robbie Ray finally wins the battle. He gets his 3rd strikeout and strands 2. No score at Chase Field.
The only base hit in the game so far as we head to the bottom half of the 2nd. Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Mitch Haniger, Chris Owings, and Brandon Drury do up 5, 6, and 7 in the Arizona 2nd against Matt Whistler. And the D-backs look to take 3 of 4 in this series. Cincinnati Reds are in for 3 starting tomorrow, and that'll be the first game this year for A.J. Pollock, who is due back here tomorrow night. So get your tickets at dbacks.com. A 6:40 start tomorrow. Braden Shipley against Brandon Finnegan. The return of A.J. Pollock to Chase Field this year. Haniger, 265. He's got 6 RBIs. He's in right field tonight. No Yasmani Tomas.
It may be game 129 on the season for the D-backs, but it's opening day for AJ.
Bet. Tomas still out with that mid-back strain. He might be the first guy here tomorrow. Big weekend here. We got A.J. Pollock coming back tomorrow. And then the alumni game Saturday at 2:30. First 20,000 fans here get a D-backs batting practice pullover courtesy of Sanderson Ford. That is leaking toward the seats. Freddie Freeman's over there, but whoa, hang on, Freddie.
Oh my.
Oh, Freddie Freeman hit that chair awfully hard, all 6'5", 220 of him, right on his back.
Freeman had 3 plays in the ball game last night, very similar to that. Little pop-ups on the first base side by the first base dugout, just out of his reach. That one too, just out of his reach, but he refused to give up on it.
His momentum just carried him over that railing, which is padded, and right onto the seat, which is not.
Nothing to grab a hold of with his arms to stop his momentum going over there. Sometimes there's a seat or a railing or something you can grab a hand on to keep yourself from flipping completely over, but there's nothing there for Freddie Freeman. Oh my.
And that ray of seats is lower than the level that you're looking at where the fan is leaning over the railing. That's a drop down there.
Takes a right or a left. I'm back on the field. Give it up to Freddie Freeman. His team is 27.5 games out of first place going into play tonight. They've only won 2 of their last 10 ball games, and he's flipping over railings trying to catch foul balls.
On August 25th, it's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
He is one of the few remaining foundations for this franchise. He'll be 27 years old coming up next month, Freddie Freeman. Working on an 8-year, $135 million deal. He is the franchise, and the franchise just flipped over backwards.
And he almost caught the ball.
Two and 1 count on Mitch Haniger now, who leads off the bottom of the second. Lifts this in the air to right field for Nick Markakis. Boy, Markakis, Bob, it was a long game last night as Freddie Freeman tries to loosen up. 4 hours and 46 minutes, but he made 2 key plays in that ball game.
He really did 2 tough catches. That one going right back over his shoulder, almost to the fence in right field, and then another one over near the bullpen on the dead run. Full extension. Caught that ball way up in the webbing of his glove. 2 really nice plays.
Both of that after a leadoff single in the bottom of the 9th inning. And he helped force extra innings. Diamondbacks won at 10, 9, and 11 on the Drury walk-off. Here's Chris Owings. But Markakis last night showing why he won 2 Gold Gloves in Baltimore earlier in his career.
This may be heartless, but back in the day, after Freddie Freeman flipped over the railing the way he did and slammed his back on that seat.
Gonna bunt?
Bunt, yeah. See if he can move. Doesn't look real comfortable down there. You know, push a bunt to the right side, try to get it past Whistler on the mound and make Freddie Freeman come in and make some kind of a play. Like I said, it may be heartless, but that's competition.
And he's still twisting around down there trying to get it loose. Dansby Swanson snags it. What a play by the rookie. That's a big time play right there.
We'll see that on some highlight reels tonight. Just a tough backhanded pick out in shallow left field.
Left fielder, number 27.
Just an all-arm throw from deep in the hole, fading away, and puts it right on the money to Freddie Freeman. Whistler appreciates it.
This is 8th major league game, Dansby Swanson. And that was a spectacular play by the rookie shortstop. 2 down now for Brandon Drury. Brandon Drury got his second walk-off of the year last night. This one was a sacrifice fly. Little flare out to left. 256 and 10 homers. And as you pointed out last night, Bob, Nat Kemp's blatant lack of mobility out there in the outfield had to factor into the Diamondbacks winning that ball game on that play.
I mean, if he stays on his feet, at least at worst he's going to make a good throw to home plate. But once you go to the ground out there, you're basically conceding that winning run, and he went to the ground hard. I mean, there's a chance Matt Williams wouldn't have even sent the runner from third base. It wasn't a very deep fly ball into left field. But once he left his feet, that was a done deal.
Tapped to third base for Adonis Garcia. And Whistler works a 1-2-3 second. Freddie Freeman tries to shake it off. No score at Chase Field.
As we head to the top half of the third, no score. Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
No score as we start the third. Ender Inciarte leads it off against Robbie Ray. Inciarte tapped back to the mound to lead off the ball game. Joe's bunt pulls back and takes ball one. Ender, the leadoff man, he's done a good job this year against left-hand pitching. 275 versus lefties. That's in more than 100 at bats. Slider missed, and Robbie's behind 2-0. Three balls and no strikes.
Robbie might be throwing a little bit too hard for Chris Guccione behind the plate. That's the second or third fastball that's been in the strike zone according to Fox Tracks, and Robbie did not get the call.
Well, Robbie was rolling along for the most part to begin with. He threw a first pitch strike to the first 6 batters he faced tonight, but the last 4 have seen ball one. And now he's behind on Inciarte, 3-1. Hold on there, Ender. Chris Guccione saw that one.
Now, pitch number 3 on Fox Tracks was called a ball. Number 5 is a strike. Catches part of the inside corner right there.
Consistency. Base hit for Inciarte. That's his 8th hit in this series. Single to start off the third.
third baseman.
Another fastball inner third of the plate right there, and Inciarte with that choked up approach at the plate gets enough barrel on it to line it back up the middle of the field for a base hit.
Well, you were talking about his approach, Bob, and the more you see Ender, the more you appreciate how he realizes who he is and what he does well up there.
He's a good bunter. We saw that last night in the 7th inning. He bunted for a base hit. He slaps the ball the opposite way, tries to keep it on the ground. Line drives and ground balls are his game. If he's hitting the ball in the air, he's making easy outs.
Adonis Garcia walked his first time up. Freddie Freeman out in the on deck circle now. Still not moving around all that well, frankly. Robbie Ray having trouble throwing strikes. There's Freddie Freeman. Dropped a nice easy slider in there, and it's 1-1.
You can bite off a little more of that strike zone with the slider when you're behind in the count. The batter's probably thinking fastball, a 1-0 count, and just throw that slider for a strike. Time he caught Garcia looking at a slider right in the middle of the plate.
Well, Robbie Buzz does believe that that slider is better this year. Says it has better break, more consistent break, and it's also a little harder, like all his pitches are. The fastball, the changeup, and the slider. The velocity's up on all three pitches. And Garcia steers one the other way. Inciarte sprinting into third. The throw from Haniger is offline. A pair of singles open up the Atlanta third. Boy, Ender saw that one roll slowly out into right field, and he was really busting it around that second base bag.
First baseman, Freddie Freeman.
Ball up and out over. We mentioned Garcia liable to swing at just about anything you throw up there. Haniger's throw back into the infield offline.
Mike Butcher out for his first mound visit tonight. That's Garcia's 6th hit in the series. Robbie, ever since Dansby Swanson had that single with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, has not looked all that sharp. He got behind on Beckham after Swanson stole a base. They walked him, then he struck out Matt Whistler, the pitcher, after a bit of a battle. But then singles by Inciarte and Garcia have started off the 3rd inning. Now he'll work to Freddie Freeman. Freeman grounded out to third his first time up. It was actually to second base. That's where Jake Lamb was standing. The shift was on. There is no shift right now with runners in the corners. Inciarte at third, Garcia at first. Big swing and a miss by Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman does handle left-hand pitching. He's just under 300 versus lefties this year. That includes 5 homers. There's a hard slider at 87, but it just missed, and it's 1-1. Base hit. Inciarte scores. Garcia stops at second. The RBI single for Freeman makes it 1-0 Atlanta. 3 consecutive Braves singles open up the 3rd against Robbie Ray.
That top spin line drive off the bat of Freddie Freeman. He rolls that top hand over so violently in his swing. Occasionally you'll see that ball get over the infield and then immediately dive down to the ground in front of the outfielders. A lot of top spin on occasion.
Matt Kemp grounded out to end the 1st inning. Ball one.
And we talked about Freddie Freeman's violent swing last night, but you can see he really rolls that top hand over just at the point of contact, and occasionally that ball will have a lot of topspin, just like a curveball from a pitcher.
One and one to Matt Kemp.
Oh, Freddie Freeman just doesn't look comfortable at all. Taking deep breaths down there after taking his secondary lead and slamming on the brakes on that foul ball. He looked into the dugout. Not sure what there is to gain by leaving Freddie Freeman in this ball game. I mean, I know he's your best offensive player. He's the anchor of the team, but as you said, he is the cornerstone for years to come for this organization.
Yeah, they're going to build around him. Remember, they were shorthanded in the ball game last night after Jeff Francoeur was traded to the Miami Marlins about 10 minutes before the ball game. They did call up Brandon Snyder for the minor leagues today, so Snyder is here. So they have the full complement of players. A ball and 2 strikes on Matt Kemp. There's Brian Snitker, the Braves interim manager. Named the skipper May 17th after Freddie Gonzalez was let go. The fly ball to center. Michael Bourne is there. Garcia at second, and both runner, well, one runner will go. Freeman started towards second base, stopped. Garcia kept going, and he picks up 90 feet.
Right fielder Nick Markakis.
That's a good read by Freddie Freeman. Michael Bourne was flat-footed out there in center field, couldn't get much on the throw to third base. So as the runner at first, you have to understand they're probably going to cut that ball off. They're not going to let it go through all the way to third base when there is no play. So as a trail runner, you got to put 2 and 2 together and think whether you want to try to advance or just stay where you're at.
Yeah, Freeman was on a dead run headed towards second base, stopped halfway there. Garcia just kept going. So they're on the corners now with 1 out for Nick Markakis, who struck out his first time up. Rolls it slowly to shortstop. Owings, they'll get 1, and that's it. Garcia scores, and it's 2-0. Hit 2 slowly to shortstop to turn 2.
Seo gets to the ball in good shape, unloads it quickly to Gene Segura. If Gene Segura can't complete this relay, it wasn't meant to happen. He has the strongest arm in the National League at second base.
So RBIs for Freeman and Markakis. That'll bring up the catcher, Anthony Recker.
We know what happened to Freddie Freeman in the last half inning, tumbling over the railing. Now he's asked to break up a double play, goes hard into second base. Nice clean slide straight into the bag. I don't think he really interfered much with Gene Segura until after the fact right there, but the fact remains Freddie Freeman's still throwing his body around.
Straight through the bag. Swing and a miss at that fastball. 1-1 on Recker. Recker wasn't called up to the big leagues this year until just after the All-Star break. He started this year in the Cleveland organization, was sold to Atlanta in early May.
I'm having a really hard time getting a picture out of my mind of Anthony Recker when he was a member of the Chicago Cubs. He apparently fell short of enough service time, so he had to dress up with the rookies one road trip.
Oh boy.
Little Bo Peep.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
So you were there.
Oh. You can't unsee that.
Yeah, there are things in life you can't unsee, and Anthony Recker dressed up as Little Bo Peep apparently might be one of them. Get it? Lamb. Little Bo Peep. That's our Cracker Jack crew in there.
Right on top of it.
Yep. 60 pitches for Robbie Ray. Only 35 for strikes. And he's worked it full on record 3-2. Robbie has walked 2 so far, 1 intentionally. He's struck out 3. Three and 2, 2 outs. There goes Markakis from first, and the pitch is a ball. He walks Recker with 2 outs. That'll bring up Dansby Swanson, who singled and stole a base his first time up tonight.
Shortstop, Dansby Swanson.
Robbie looks like he's attacking the hitters like he did in San Diego. He's certainly throwing just as hard as he did then, but the stuff just isn't quite as sharp, or the command's not there.
Yeah, I think some of the highlights we showed you of his start in San Diego, he was either at the knees or at the letters. He made very few mistakes in the middle of the plate with any of his pitches, especially his fastball. Some of those fastballs have found the middle of the plate where the Braves can get the bat on them, put them in play. A couple of hard hit balls, a couple that found holes.
3 straight singles open up this inning for Atlanta. They've scored 2. 1-0 on Swanson, who's got 4 hits in the series now. And his first major league RBI in this series, and tonight his first big league stolen base. And also made a spectacular play at shortstop. 1-1. I figure going from college ball to the professional ranks will be an adjustment, even for a guy like Dansby Swanson coming out of an elite program like Vanderbilt. He played just about 150 games in 3 seasons at Vandy, never more than 72 in 1 season, but he's already played nearly 110 this year as a pro. All part of the adjustment. One and 2. Got him. There's that Robbie Ray slider. He gets his 4th strikeout, but the Braves get 2. The RBIs for Freeman and Markakis. It's 2-0 Atlanta. pretzels here at Chase Field, where the D-backs trail the Braves 2-0. And fans, 2017 season tickets are on sale right now. And you can customize your very own ticket plan. You can go with a series, a weekend, or a half-season plan, or go all in with full season seats that include all the benefits. Season ticket holders enjoy the lowest price possible and have perks like early entry to Chase Field and exclusive events. So find out more at dbacks.com/season tickets, and we'll see you at the ballpark next year. Tuffy Gozowich leads off the third against Matt Whistler. Tuffy batting 167 and 3 homers. Tuffy 0 for 11 since he homered in back-to-back games in New York and Boston. Getting the start tonight behind the plate, a night off for Wellington Castillo. I forgot to ask you after the fiasco last night when you went with Chase Utley, who'd you go with tonight beat the streak?
Well, Trey Turner. He got his knock.
He always does. Washington beat Baltimore 4-0.
I haven't looked back. I took Matt Carpenter from the Cardinals today on a whim. Went off campus once again.
Cardinals are trailing at home against the Mets 10-5. They're in the ninth. Dansby Swanson. That's his second spectacular defensive play tonight. Takes a base hit away from Tuffy Gozowich.
Dansby always looked like he's about to take a bite out of the baseball. Michael Jordan used to stick out his tongue. Some guys grit their teeth. Dansby Swanson has his mouth wide open as he makes these defensive gems.
Well, he just took a bite out of Tuffy, that's for sure. Here's Robbie Ray, the pitcher. We have a Matt Carpenter update.
Matt Carpenter snuck one in there. 1 for 5. Attaboy.
So you're up to 2. Nice going.
Rolling.
Robbie Ray gets a hold of one deep to center for Inciarte. Just shy of the warning track, and that's the second out.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. He's got his hands full.
Need a napkin over here.
That is priceless.
Gene Segura. I believe we're having a Brandon Webb booth visit next inning. Is that
nice?
Is that my information? Webby with us in the 4th?
Yeah, we fortunately got a couple minutes of his time today. He's been very busy.
I heard him on the radio driving into the ballpark today on Burns and Gambo.
We had our people get a hold of his people to see if we could set something up.
If you can navigate his network of entourage, get him in here. I heard him say he might actually take a couple of hacks in the alumni game Saturday.
Might want to rethink that.
Really? He was not a good hitter?
Well, you know, we were giving you Webby stats from the 07 season when he was on the mound, and he was really good on the mound.
At the plate?
Not so much.
What happened?
082. Ooh, ouch.
Oh, that's why he wants another crack at it, maybe. 2-2 on Segura.
He did put down 8 sack bunts. He was a very good bunter.
You can have Gracie coach him up.
That's a lot to ask any hitting coach.
That ship has sailed, apparently, huh? Get Dave Magadan on it. Fastball missed, and the count is full on Segura, 3-2. He walked him. Second walk of the ball game issued by Matt Whistler. That ends a stretch of 7 straight. He'd retired.
forgot to check in with the cooler about who he picked. But if you were with us last night, you'll remember that the cooler picked Angel Pagan to get a hit because Pagan had a 19-game hitting streak. And naturally, because the cooler picked him, he went hitless in that game. Well, Pagan in the first inning tonight, base hit. Unbelievable. Michael Bourne walked his first time up. That's the Giants and Dodgers again. No score in LA. They're in the second inning. There is another cooler.
There is no cooler like the cooler.
The cooler ended Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 29-game hitting streak, and he's now ended an Angel Pagan 19-gamer.
It's like the Turk at the NFL training camp when you hear the knock on the door. He's standing outside your dorm room. Bring your playbook.
Not good.
Yeah, he's kind of that guy. Well, in the fourth inning, we'll ask Webby about his plans for the alumni game. Been doing a great job. Good to have him back on Fox Sports Arizona pre and post game. There's a chopper to second and backs up Beckham for the outfield grass, and he throws him out. Diamondbacks trail the Braves 2-0. Brandon Webb with us when we come back.
The 07 Diamondbacks here tonight. Our Geico this moment, legacy moment, the clinching game at Coors Field in Colorado. Papa Grande.
Oh yeah,
he gets a little excited.
He was always fun to watch.
Fourth National League West Division title. Bob Melvin toasting the team in the clubhouse after the ball game. Always good to win it on the road, isn't it, Webby? That way you don't mess up your own clubhouse.
Yeah, you don't want to mess your uniforms up and carpet, and it stinks. And yeah, it was nice. It was fun. It was pretty fun.
Brandon Webb is with us here as we start the fourth inning. Gordon Beckham leads it off for the Braves. How are you doing? We haven't seen you all summer.
I know. Well, we don't get together here during the games anymore. Just pre and post now.
Well,
I can always still just stop in though. Huh?
We don't want to. Yeah, it's an open invite.
All right.
I mean, you win a Cy Young, and we can't keep Randy out of the booth.
No.
And we've tried. What'd you do all summer? You didn't take the Winnebago to Kentucky this time, huh?
I did not. First time that we did not go back to Kentucky. My daughter's heavily involved in competitive dance, so that took us all the way to early July, and then we crept out, of course, like all Phoenicians do, to California and spent 3 weeks there, and then school started back. And that was it.
Now, I didn't hear any mention of sort of rehab program, some type of strength building thing to get ready for Saturday.
No, There was none of that.
I heard you on the radio flat out refuse to throw.
Yeah, I went national twice now, or public, I guess. I went post game last night, radio today. I said, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
You went
throwing
national
in the
with
game.
that, did you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's national, but it's
Was
public.
it last year or 2 years ago you were throwing vegetables over your neighbor's
Yeah, last
fence or
year.
something?
Yeah, had a nice garden, had some real nice eggplants.
That was the eggplant.
Started chucking those around
over the fence
because I don't eat them, but they'd go bad on me. So I was, you got to gauge your arm every now and then, rock or whatever.
I got to throw these into the neighbor's yard. They're going bad on me.
It's just a test to see if I could do it.
But now I heard you talking some smack today on the radio about maybe hitting, and the skipper here says that's a bad idea.
Well, we've gone through this before here, and we've showed my swings.
Yeah, and the numbers haven't changed.
I do have a couple nice pokes out there.
Well, because we're on top of our game here, we try to be. We have some prepared material.
Of course you all do.
To support BB's claim.
Back when you were in your prime swinging that bat.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, my goodness, that's awful.
You all are just
we're glad to see
around
you.
here.
Yeah, we hadn't talked to you all summer.
Todd pulls that out on the on the pre and post. Yeah, it's 3-4 times a year now, it seems like. That's that'll be in the highlights for a long time. That's a good one.
Well, do you like the alumni game? Are you looking forward to seeing some guys? And they're all sort of trickling into town here.
Yeah, I am. It's a good time to see those guys that we don't see that live out of town, that come in, and for once a year we get to see them. A couple guys that I haven't seen in 10 or 12 years, Andrew Good and Michael Gosling, that I played a lot of minor league ball with. They came up and had a little bit of time here with the D-backs. Haven't seen them forever, so that'll be really nice to see those guys.
Yeah, they'll all be there, Gonzo included. Now, don't forget this year's alumni game Saturday starts before the game against the Reds, so it's a 2:30 start. The gates open at 2, and the first 20,000 fans here get the D-backs batting practice pullover that the lovely Mike and Vanessa have been showing off lately. So you got to get here early to get to the game and get your D-backs pullover. That's courtesy of Sanderson Ford. And you can still get tickets, dbacks.com/alumni. Here's Ender Inciarte. Robbie Ray now with 6 strikeouts.
I want to ask you about one of the pitchers on the staff with you back in '07, Livan Hernandez. Had you ever seen anybody quite like that?
No.
He would throw it 55 miles an hour, then he'd throw it 95 miles an hour, and everywhere in between.
Oh yeah, he was unbelievable at changing speeds, changing eye levels. He didn't, when he came with us, he didn't really even throw that hard. He was about 85, 86, maybe 88 every now and then, but he would drop a really slow curveball and throw right off that a high fastball that looked about 95. And he had pretty good movement, excellent location, kept the ball down the zone. But it just goes to show you, you do not have to, have overpowering stuff at all to have success. He was a great teammate.
Number 61.
Yeah.
For a while.
And Livan could hit.
Yeah, he could.
2-2 on Inciarte. Robbie Ray, chance to strike out the side. We want to ask you about some D-backs pitchers. We'll do that next half inning. But boy, Robbie Ray looks like he's really made some progress this year.
Yeah, he's young. I mean, his stuff is excellent. It's too good to only go 5 innings. To me, he was eating up a lot of pitches, going deep into counts, just not being really aggressive with the fastball. It's too good to do that. And these last 3 games, he's been outstanding. National League Player of the Week, 13 punch outs last game against the Padres. Just looked really sharp. I think the more time that he gets on the mound, he'll probably get the confidence and more comfortable out there, and he should be able to do this all the time.
Yeah, still just 24 years old, Robbie Ray. Do you find that was the case for you, Webby? Were you a different pitcher at 28 than you were at 24 or 25? Is there that big a difference? Every guy's different, I know. But
I mean, I was lucky, and I felt like I was able to settle in and felt comfortable. But that it comes with success, is what happens. You go out there, if you have repetitive success, you gain confidence, and you just try to build off that every start. And not that you get cocky, but you feel good about yourself, and it helps.
I was here. I heard you on the radio talking about how you trusted your stuff. You believed in your stuff. And do you see that from not just Robbie, but all these D-backs hitters? Do you see enough of that?
I do see it at times. Yeah, like, you know, Robbie Ray here now, I feel like he's getting to that point a little bit. But sometimes, no, not enough.
We'll talk about that right after this. There was no chance they were going to get Ender Inciarte flying up the line there, and Ender's got his second hit tonight.
That's one thing Robbie Ray has really struggled with throughout his career. He falls off to that third base side and gets a late break to the bag. And with Ender Inciarte's speed, he's not going to win that foot race.
So you want to see more D-backs pitchers believe and trust in what they do have.
Yeah, and that'll come. It just comes with throwing strikes, being aggressive with the fastball, not being scared to let the hitters put the ball in play and trust this defense, this good defense that they have out there. Let them work. That allows you to go deep in the game and not go 2-2, 3-2 on the hitters, and keeps you in the game and gets you wins and everything. It's just if you a well-located fastball is as good a pitch as any.
Adonis Garcia.
When we were given some of your numbers from that 07 season, Webby, 236 plus innings that year, 3 shutouts, 4 complete games.
Yeah.
The game has really changed now because pitchers don't pitch deep into the ball game and they don't throw complete games. So every team has to carry an extra bullpen arm or two, which shorts you a couple of position players on the bench.
Inciarte takes off for second, and Tuffy goes a wish, throws him out. That'll end the 4th inning. We'll be back with Brandon Webb right after this. Tuffy goes a wish. Ends the top of the 4th. D-backs trail at 2-0. Conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game. How about game 1 of 07, the division series against the Cubs, and Brandon Webb, your game 1 starter. What do you remember about this one?
Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, we steamrolled through that whole series. I just remember having really good stuff. Derek Lee there was a great hitter. Was just not on his game that night. I had him chasing a bunch of changeups, and just I locked him up on a fastball there. Luckily, kind of crept back over, but. It was one of the funnest games I pitched.
Brandon Webb in the booth with us as Goldie leads off the bottom of the 4th against Matt Whistler. D-backs still without a base hit. They trail at 2-0 as we get set for the alumni game coming up here Saturday. A 2:30 start at Chase Field before the 5:10 ball game. D-backs and Reds. I like the way that you put that, because you were just talking a moment ago about believing in your stuff, trusting your stuff, and having confidence out there. And just hearing you talk about that, I mean, you kind of owned them that night.
I had a good night.
Yeah,
but I had some good stuff.
But that
night,
type of belief is something that a staff full of young pitchers has to pick up, isn't it?
I think so. And I think Greinke, and when he came back and pitched there at Shea, coming from that oblique injury, I thought would really jumpstart the staff.
Here comes Ender Inciarte, and he makes a sliding grab. One down in the fourth. Well, seen a lot of Braves defense so far tonight.
We saw Ender Inciarte patrolling the outfield here at Chase for the Diamondbacks over the last couple of years, and we know he covers a lot of ground.
Well, Webby, how much of what's happened this year, or what hasn't happened maybe more accurately, has been because of the pitching in your mind?
I'd say a fair amount to me. I think the hitters have done a good job of putting runs on the board.
And Kemp runs that down off the bat of Jake Lamb, 2 outs.
You know, a lot of times they're coming into the dugout to hit, you know, down 4 or 5 runs after, you know, a couple innings. I mean, it's tough. It's tough on hitters to do that, and puts a lot of pressure on those guys to try to come back and score off another big league pitcher that's not easy. It's not easy to do.
And there have been a lot of games this year where the Diamondbacks took a lead in the game, and it appeared that they were cruising to the finish line, and then the bullpen unfortunately implodes, and you end up losing the ball game when you have a big lead. So yeah, it's easy to point fingers when you're having a bad year, but so far we haven't seen any of that from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
2 outs on 5 pitches so far in the inning for Matt Wisler, and he's ahead of Mitch Haniger, 0-2. Bounced in the hole. It's over. Garcia swats it on the short hop, throws him out. Brandon Webb, you're always welcome. Come by more often.
I'll have to do that, guys. Yeah. Good to see you.
We'll see you on a post-game show tonight and Saturday for the alumni game.
Yes, you will.
Braves 2-0. Time for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. We mentioned this last night. Some big-time names reaching some big milestones. David Ortiz, the oldest player ever with 30 homers in a season. He might mess around and be AL MVP. He homered last night, as did Albert Pujols for the Angels, who is now 10th all-time. 584 home runs. Adonis Garcia leads off the Braves' 5th against Robbie Ray. Atlanta got 2 in the 3rd. RBIs by Freddie Freeman and Nick Markakis. So far, Robbie Ray has walked 3 and struck out 6. D-backs through 4 innings, still without a base hit against Matt Wisler. Along the right field line, foul ground for Goldie. 1 out. Freddie Freeman, ever since he went over the top rope and landed on that seat down there, has remained in the ball game. Seems like he's moving around okay now, but he certainly looked to be in a lot of pain earlier. He has grounded out. He's got an RBI single so far. 5 hits in the series.
Well, in my humble opinion, they need to get him out of there. I don't want to see him hit anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Shift is on for Freeman. And there's a strike from Robbie Ray. Here's that big Freddie Freeman Happy Gilmore golf hack that he takes sometimes. 0-2. This was Freddie Freeman in the second. Look out below.
I'd have to go to the chiropractor for a month to get fixed after something like that. Oh.
Chops at that one. It's foul.
Yeah, just an illustration of the kind of athletes that these guys are. I mean, you don't usually put Freddie Freeman in that category. Boy, is he a good athlete, but man, you run over there at full speed, get your legs chopped out by the fence, flip over on top of some seats and bounce back and get an RBI base hit your next time up to the plate. That's a pretty good athlete.
It's the hardest sport there is to play, and it's not even close. Not even close.
You'll get no argument from me.
No other sport has an apprenticeship as long as this one does before you can get to this level.
Got a little strawberry on the knee from breaking up that double play at second base.
Freeman strikes out. Robbie Ray ups it up to 96. That's his 7th strikeout. 2 down in the 5th.
Pitch by Robbie Ray right there inside part. Well, actually off the plate inside, crowding Freeman. That's what the Diamondbacks have tried to do to him this entire series.
Well, he gave you a little Papa Grande right there, Robbie Ray. That looked Jose Valverde like with that finish. Same kind of motion. Matt Kemp. Kemp 0 for 2. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. Batting .324 during his 9-game streak.
Papa Grande, a name that stuck. I believe it was Jim Traber that was doing the TV games at the time, was the first one to hang that nickname on Jose Valverde. Papa Grande. And my Spanish is not good, but I think that means big potato.
Well, he was sort of potato-like shaped. I'm getting a thumbs up from Dennis Lamb on the translation, by the way. Latest episode of the Dennis Lamb Show. Bo Porter's got that one. 0-2 on Kemp. But you know how Papa Grande used to finish, sort of lean back and spin, and that front leg would kind of kick and the arm would go back. Robbie Ray looked like him on that strikeout of Freeman. Driven to right center. That one will get down and roll to the wall. And Kemp into second, his 32nd double this year.
Ball away that time. Kemp didn't get it all. Hit it down near the trademark a little bit. Took some of the sting out of that ball, but still rolls all the way to the barrier for a 2-out double.
So Kemp has now hit safely in 10 straight. That'll bring up Nick Markakis. Now 6 hits for Atlanta.
Hey, we want to extend get well wishes to the parents of our PA announcer, Chuck Drago. Mario and Judy.
Hey, there you go.
Both recovering from surgery. Mario had rotator cuff surgery, and Judy had surgery on her knee. They're big Diamondbacks fans. They watch every ball game, and their little boy Chuck wanted to send out get well wishes.
Nice job, Chuck. You're a good son. That fastball missed, and it's 1-1.
And they're good parents because they watch every game.
And Chuck comes by every Sunday with donuts.
Yeah.
He does the Drago donut delivery service. 100 pitches now for Robbie Ray. 63 for strikes. Trying to get through this fifth. That's exactly what Brandon Webb was talking about. You've got a guy here just trying to survive 5 innings at 100 pitches. This has happened far too often. And Robbie just has not been able to locate the way he has his previous 2 starts. So the pitch count as a result is up there. Silvino Bracho, just called up from the minors today, has started warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. A couple of fresh arms brought up. Vicente Campos and Silvino Bracho. Dominic Leone and Steve Hathaway option to the minor leagues. Bullpen worn out after this long series with the Braves. 3-1 now on Markakis.
I started to get into that a little bit with Webby. You know, teams have to carry an extra reliever or 2 or sometimes 3 depending on the schedule and how deep your starters are getting into the ball game, and that limits the number of position players you can carry on the bench. You know, I was just thinking about it last night after the ball game. It seems like teams always had a left-handed thumper off the bench, a right-handed thumper off the bench, a left-handed on base percentage guy, a right-handed on base percentage guy, and then usually somebody who could run like the wind. And if one of your catchers or one of your slow running outfielders got on base late in the game, it wasn't unusual to send out your fast pinch runner because you had bodies available on the bench. But now, because you have to carry extra relief pitchers, it limits those extra position players you can have on your bench.
Mike Butcher now. Robbie Ray with a double and a walk, both with 2 outs, just trying to get through this 5th inning. Well, if they put limits on reliever use like Commissioner Rob Manfred has talked about recently, because the game has become so bullpen dominant, it's been almost reverse engineered that way. It used to be about the starters. Now you win in the postseason with powerful bullpens. If they do limit bullpen use, maybe that'll help. And maybe the back end of games when teams have really good relievers won't become such a foregone conclusion.
Well, last night's game was a perfect example. We had played 2 hours and 15 minutes into the top of the 7th inning, and it took 2 hours to play the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Because the guys just couldn't get any outs that were coming in, and the entertainment value just goes down for the game, and that is priority 1 for the commissioner's office. Make the game fun to watch, entertaining, move it along. Anthony Recker, the catcher, has struck out and walked. Now 4 walks for Robbie. He struck out 7. He's got Kemp at second, Markakis at first, and 2 outs.
Now 4 walks tonight, including 1 intentional. Robbie had only walked 3 in his previous 3 starts. That's the pitch count.
He's been behind too often. 1-0 now. So you think you're training starters in a sense to become these 5-inning guys instead of having them go deeper and deeper?
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of that is tied to radar gun reading. They didn't care about radar guns in the 1960s when guys would throw 300 innings and have 20 complete games a year.
Yeah, and throw 215 pitches in a complete game.
I mean, human physiology hasn't changed that much in the last 50 years or so.
And that magic number 100, we get so concerned when a pitcher gets to 100 pitches, and I think that was just an arbitrary number that was selected because, well, it's triple digits. That's a lot of pitches. Yeah, for some guys maybe it is. For other guys, 100 pitches, they're just getting loose. For Nolan Ryan, he might have thrown that many in the bullpen before the game even started.
And Robbie Ray has one of those types of arms. That's what Chip Hale has commented on a number of times over the course of this year. Robbie is very resilient out there in terms of his health and his velocity, and he can get deep into games, and he can maintain that mid and upper 90s velocity into the 6th or 7th inning. Over the head of Bo Porter at third, and it's 2-2 on Anthony Recker.
thing that really helped Robbie is you get a look at his pitch count by inning, really getting up there in a hurry. As we mentioned at the beginning of the game, he threw strike one to the first 6 hitters in the ball game, but since then only 6 of 19.
Working from behind all night long. Hard to win like that. Drives one toward Drury and left. And Brandon makes a leaping catch at the wall. Brandon Drury ends the 5th. The former Brave draftee. Go get it. Diamondbacks trail it 2-0. Still looking for their first base hit tonight as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. And a reminder, fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and Diamondbacks baseball with you wherever you go. D-backs trying to solve the mystery here of young Matt Wisler. You know you want it.
Just like Grandma made. Comes with a free straw.
Chris Owings leads off the 5th. Wisler so far 4 hitless innings. He has walked 2, does not have a strikeout. Mostly a fly ball pitcher tonight, but he's been effective. Called up from AAA Gwinnett yesterday to make this start here tonight. After losing his rotation spot and his place in the big league roster earlier this year. Hard to short, right to Dansby Swanson, kicks it, recovers, high throw, and it's thrown away. Owings is aboard. Swanson, who's turned in a few defensive gems down there, maybe still had time to get even the speedy Owings, but that one airmailed Freeman at C6.
Just mishandled that one right there after making some spectacular plays. Just mishandled a routine one and rushed his throw across the diamond high to Freddie Freeman. Came out of nowhere.
Brandon Drury. Brandon grounded out his first time up, made a nice play there. Leaping catch into the wall in left field to win the last half inning. Top to third. Garcia. Beckham for one. They get the double play as Freeman does a tremendous job. of keeping his foot on the bag.
Dominguez Garcia is not always the smoothest defender down there at third base. He reminds me a little bit of Charlie Hayes.
Oh, good call.
You know, Charlie had that ridiculous power and very aggressive hacker at the plate and made the plays down at third base, although they didn't always look very aesthetic. He got them done.
That's a really good comp. Charlie Hayes. Tuffy Gozowicz. Tuffy should have had a base hit his first time up. He hit a bloop over the shortstop's head, but Dansby Swanson jumped up and got it and took away a base hit. But Swanson with an error in this inning. There's Charlie Hayes at third. Wait. Adonis Garcia. Matt Whistler, 5 innings of no-hit ball. He's got a 2-0 lead.
Lead as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up on one of the interactive kiosks located right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. It's Silvino Bracho, 15 appearances over 3 different stints with the Diamondbacks this year. A 6.75 ERA, called up from the minor leagues today, and this is his first big league appearance since July 22nd at Cincinnati. Defensive changes behind him. Mitch Haniger moves from right field to left field, replacing Brandon Drury, and Yasmani Tomas off the bench. He'll take over in right. So Tomas will bat 9th. And the pitcher spot now 7th in the Diamondback order. Dansby Swanson, who has singled and struck out, leads off the 6th against Bracho. With Silvino Bracho this year at the big league level, the walk to strikeout ratio just hasn't been nearly as good as it's been in the minor leagues, where he's been very good this year. And he's been just too susceptible to the long ball. He's given up 4 home runs in just under 15 innings. Bracho back up from AAA Reno. 36 appearances for Phil Nevin down there, and he's pitched very well. 15 saves. 43 strikeouts against only 8 walks. Yanked that one. 2-1 on Dansby Swanson.
Well, for Swanson tonight, we've seen the good and we saw the bad on a very routine ground ball. Made a tremendous play on a tough short hop out in shallow left field. Goes to his left, snares a line drive that was headed for the gap. Another great play, screened by his own third baseman right there. And then a routine ball hit right at him. That's baseball.
Well, he's got 4 hits in the series, all singles. He stole a base back in the second inning, his first major league steal. 2-2 from Bracho. Broken bat, slow roller, shortstop for Owens. Throw pulls Goldie off the bag, and Swanson's aboard. There's equipment all over the field. That's E6.
Good slider down low and away. Swanson hits it right off the end of the bat. It splits lengthwise. Owens got to the ball in good shape. Just kind of slings an underhanded throw across the diamond. Goldie can't get the tag down quickly enough on Swanson.
Leadoff man aboard in the 6th inning for Gordon Beckham, the second baseman. Beckham has walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Drives it to deep left center field. And it's off the base of the wall. Swanson flying around third. He will score. That's an RBI double for Gordon Beckham, and it's 3-0 Atlanta. Well, Gordon Beckham 3 for 45 going into that at bat, but he makes it 3-zip Braves.
Yeah, you mentioned Bracho giving up a lot of home runs. This is part of the reason why. Look where that pitch is. You can't get any more in the middle of the strike zone. Beckham, who's been struggling at the plate, barrels that one up to the gap in left center, bangs it off the wall for an RBI double.
Braves now with 7 hits. And Matt Whistler, who has pitched 5 innings of no-hit ball, will step in for Atlanta. Goldie comes in from first. Bo Porter coaching at third. Whistler squares to bunt. Hits it down right to Goldie, playing third, and they got Beckham. He bunted it quickly and right to the first baseman, and Goldie was ready. They cut down the lead man.
That was Keith Hernandez like. We talked about Keith Hernandez when the Mets were in town. Look where Goldie is when he fields this ball, almost between home plate and the mound. It's not a bad bunt by Whistler, just the wrong direction. Goldie right there to field it, throws on to Jake Lamb to get the lead runner. Nicely done.
You see Beckham try the swim move here to avoid the tag, but Jake kept it down there and got him on the chest. That'll bring up Ender Inciarte. Now Whistler, the pitcher, at first. 1 out here in the 6th. Inciarte has 2 singles tonight. He's scored a run. He's got 9 hits in the series. Inciarte was hitting under .230 during the first half of the year. He missed a month with a left hamstring strain almost as soon as the season began, but boy, he has really gotten hot here over the course of the summer. .355 since the All-Star break, and he's 2 for 3 tonight. One and two. steps on the bag, takes off the force. You got to tag him. And there it is. How about some Goldie defense in this 6th inning? That's how you play first base. Right to Goldie. Steps on the bag for 1. Takes off the force. They tag Whistler. That's the inning, but the Diamondbacks trailing 3-0. High-speed highlights presented by Cox. So far through 5 innings, Braves pitcher Matt Whistler has not recorded a strikeout. He's also not given up a hit.
Yeah, his defense has made some nice plays behind him. There have been a few hard hit balls, but it seems like there was always a Braves defender standing right in front of it. Not overpowering with any of his stuff. He managed to, for the most part, to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. As you mentioned, no strikeouts. He's walked a couple, but he's yet to give up a base hit.
He's been in the minor leagues the last month after being sent down at the end of July. He was supposed to start for their AAA club in Gwinnett yesterday, but was scratched and brought up here to make this start tonight. And so far, 5 innings of no-hit ball. He'll face Yasmani Tomas, Gene Segura, and Michael Bourne, 9-1-2. Here in the Diamondback 6th inning.
I want to send out congratulations to Marty Harum, playing for Visalia in the Cal League, third baseman, first baseman, a postseason all-star in the Cal League. He was a 2013 undrafted free agent from the University of Wisconsin Whitewater. The Visalia team had some kind of first half, 46-24. They won the first half in that Cal League by 7 games.
Roll Hyde.
Yeah, overall record, they're 21 games over 500.
J.R. House has done a tremendous job down there the last few years, and he's starting to get a lot of attention, and deservedly so, as a managerial candidate. Done a tremendous job. Yasmani Tomas, back from that mid-back strain, double switched into the ball game midway through, his first at bat tonight. And to leave the game on Tuesday with that mid-back stiffness. Tomas has a pair of hits in this series, including a home run. He's knocked in 4. But he's down 0-2. Yasmani, 5 home runs in his last 9 games. And hopefully the back problem doesn't slow down that pace at all.
Boy, Whistler through that 4th and 5th inning threw a total of 13 pitches, 8 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th. That had to make his mother very happy.
I've been waiting for 5 innings. So that would make her Whistler's mother.
Yes.
There you go. Shecky Green in the house. I wondered what took you so long. There's his first strikeout. Hey, fans, celebrate Hispanic Heritage Day. It's coming up Saturday, September 10th, presented by Bud Light. You'll enjoy a pregame APS Street Festival before the Diamondbacks game against the Giants, with authentic food, music, entertainment, a whole lot more, plus the first 20,000 fans with us that day. Get a Los D-backs soccer jersey courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. And we'll see you for Hispanic Heritage Day, Saturday, September 10th, against the Giants. Gene Segura. And when you've got A-list material like that.
Well, even for me, that was a reach. I don't know. Although I did ask Chip Caray before the ball game if they knew anything about Whistler's mother. All he could find out was her name was Sue.
Off the glove of Whistler, recovers and throws out Segura. Life ain't easy for boys whose mom is named Sue. Or something like that.
I believe that was a boy named Sue, but point taken. Nice play to stay with it there. A lot of young pitchers, after kicking it around a couple times the way Whistler did, would pick that ball up and fire it down into the right field bullpen, but throws a strike to Freddie Freeman to get the speedy Gene Segura at first base.
Matt Whistler now at 70 pitches, 40 strikes. 2 outs in the 6th. Michael Bourne has walked and grounded out. He's 0 for 1. Michael with 7 hits in the series. 4 last night, including 2 triples. And as always, Adonis Garcia with his feet on the grass at third base, guarding against the bunt. Well, Matt Whistler, 2 strikeouts in the inning, his first 2 tonight. He has yet to give up a base hit through 6. Diamondbacks down 3-0. Start the 7th inning. Matt Whistler and the Braves have a 3-0 lead. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink as we wrap up this 4-game set against Atlanta. And we'll welcome in the Cincinnati Reds for the first of 3 tomorrow night. A.J. Pollock's return to the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Braden Shipley against Brandon Finnegan. And then the alumni game Saturday at 2:30 before the game against the Reds, which is a 5:10 start. Zach Godley, Anthony DiSclafani, and then Archie Bradley and Homer Bailey on Sunday. Adonis Garcia leads off the 7th against Silvino Bracho. Back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Brought up to the minor leagues today. Garcia has walked, singled, scored a run. He's 1 for 2. And he's hit safely in 9 straight games and 13 of his last 14. 2 home runs in this series. In right field. On the way. Freddie Freeman now.
First baseman, Freddie Freeman.
Slicing drive down that right field side. Yasmani Tomas. Well, it measured perfectly. Catches it right on the foul line.
Looks like he's moving around okay with that mid-back stiffness. So that's a good sign. Shift is on now for Freeman, who had an RBI single in the third. He's 1 for 3 tonight. That's chop foul. It's been a long series for this Diamondback bullpen, so they got 2 fresh arms up here. We've seen Bracho, and also brought up today Vicente Campos, who they got from the Yankees in the Tyler Clippard trade, set to make his D-backs and major league debut, and he's warming up in the bullpen right now. There he is. 6'3", 230 pounds, the right-hander, 24 years old, with a very good minor league track record. He's an interesting guy. So we'll see if he finds his way into the ball game tonight. 0-2 on Freeman. Well, you get 2 innings out of Bracho. You can get some length out of Campos, who's been a starter in the minors all year long. Made 4 starts at AA Mobile for Robbie Hammock after he was acquired from the Yankees. So he can give you some length back there.
There's a new twist from Bracho that time. Quick pitch. We know he likes to take a long time from the time he gets his sign from Tuffy Gosowich, gets up into a set position and delivers the ball. Sometimes it's 6 or 7 or 8 seconds. That time he got the sign and just put his hands together and fired it.
Still doing that 3 toe tap move with that front foot. Change up missed, and it's 2-2. Chris Guccione back there, says ball 2. Watch the front foot of Bracho. 3 toe taps. 1, 2, 1 more, and he's ready to go. So if he's got a quick pitch, that's quite a difference for the hitter in terms of timing and rhythm. Uh-oh. Gonzo will now not get a hit Saturday. Guaranteed. He does not get a hit Saturday in the alumni game. Sitting next to the cooler. It's over. Get ready for the offer. Gonzo will go 0 for 2.
Yeah, you can see icicles hanging off the front of that booth right there.
Mr. Freeze. We kid because we love. He did, however, get a foul ball for the 2nd night in a row, the cooler.
Have to get some kind of a contest on MLB.com that emphasizes defense.
Guys will start kicking balls all over the field. That's their 7th error tonight. Matt Kemp. Kemp doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. What's happened with the cooler has been actually kind of fascinating. Killed a couple of hitting streaks. He has a rule. He does not pick a Dodger for beat the streak. And Adrian Gonzalez had a hit streak going, the longest active streak in the major leagues right now. But Gonzalez is 0 for 2 so far tonight. Michael Bourne. That's the 2nd out. Hey fans, get your tickets now. D-backs and Dodgers 4-game series here at Chase Field, September 15th through the 18th, and the first 20,000 fans to enter the ballpark here on Saturday, September 17th get this outstanding David Peralta bobblehead. It's courtesy of Ram Trucks. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. Saturday, September 17th, David Peralta bobblehead day. That is an outstanding bobble.
Ankle guard and everything.
Yeah, solid work. We've had all good bobbleheads this year. Nick Markakis. Freddie Freeman at first and 2 outs. Second inning of relief for Silvino Bracho. Markakis walked his last time up, got an RBI and a fielder's choice in the 3rd. His 5th run batted in this series. He's got 7 hits. Giants are leading that game, by the way, in LA. 3-0. They're in the 6th inning. Fairly light night around the major league schedule today. Bracho behind 2-1. Two misses, and it's a full count, 3-2. Second full count in this inning for Silvino Bracho after he walked Freeman. Now Goldie will play behind the runner at first. Baxter wearing his Throwback Thursday outfit tonight. The 3-2 to Markakis. There goes Freeman, and that is strike 3. Silvino Bracho rings him up and ends the 7th. We stretch here at Chase Field. Matt Whistler has got a no-hitter going for Atlanta. It'll face the heart of the order coming up. Goldie leads off the 7th for the Diamondbacks. Matt Whistler takes the mound for the Braves here in the bottom of the 7th at Chase Field after 6 no-hit innings, and Paul Goldschmidt will lead off the Arizona 7th. 3-0 Atlanta. Goldie 0 for 2 so far. He is twice flat out to center, and there's strike 1. Matt Whistler's second season in the big leagues, only 4-11 this year with a 5.16 ERA. And so far tonight he has walked 2, struck out 2, but he's yet to allow a base hit. Just missed with that slider, and it's 1-2. Matt Whistler was in the Atlanta rotation the first 4 months of the year. You can see how efficient he's been tonight. Look at that 4th, 5th, and 6th inning. Fewer than 10 pitches each time. Goldie reaches out and lifts it to Markakis, and it drops in front. Inciarte has it, and Goldie has the first D-backs hit.
All right, now that the seal has been broken, turn it loose, D-backs. Goldie gets a slider, hits it right off the end of the bat. Little floater into shallow right center. Inciarte running it as hard as he could from center field, trying to get to the spot. Same thing for Nick Markakis. It just drops in front.
Jake Lamb. Jake is grounded out, fly now. And Whistler, his first hit after 6 no-hit innings. Was pitching very well for the Braves. In the middle of May, had an ERA that was below 3 at one point this year, but then won just twice over a 12-start span. Lost 3 straight to start the second half of the year and was sent to AAA. And tonight his first major league start since July 28th. But he's still got a 3-0 lead. He's still very much under control in terms of the pitch count. 1-1 count on Jake Lamb. Whistler is coming off a very rough month of July. His last 4 starts before he was sent down to AAA, he went 1-3 with an ERA over 10. Losses at Cincinnati and Colorado, a loss at home to Philadelphia. He'd given up 9 home runs in his previous 4 starts, but has been outstanding so far tonight. Three and 1 now on Lamb. Bullpen will start to get busy for the Braves. He walked him. A single and a walk open up the Diamondbacks 7th. Chaz Rowe, the former D-back, has started throwing in the Atlanta bullpen. And the hitter will be Mitch Haniger. Mitch 0 for 2. He is flying out, grounded out. Do you find when guys lose no-hitters, it just goes instantly?
That's kind of been my experience. You know, there have been times where a guy gives up the first one and gets right back in the zone, gets some quick outs and ends the game. But for the most part, I think once that pressure is off, guys tend to get a little sloppy, make some mistakes. Maybe some of the adrenaline that they've been pitching with is now gone, and they're forced to try to pitch through the rest of the ball game.
Dive to center for Inciarte. Goldie at second. He'll head for third. Lamb moves up as well, and everybody advances 90 feet. Heads up, D-backs base running. Ender planned it and set himself out there, ready to make a throw, but he was just way too deep in center. And now it's second and third with one out.
Haniger just missed that ball, got under it just a little bit too much. A sky-high fly ball to center field. Big arm from Ender Inciarte. Well, that might have been a close play had Garcia stayed on the bag and let that ball come to him, but he made the decision to try to go out and cut it off and get Jake Lamb going first to second.
So you've got Goldie at third, Lamb at second, one away, and the hitter is Chris Owings. Pitcher spot is due up next after the double switch, and Ricky Weeks Jr. is in the on deck circle. Chris has it safely in every game in this series. He had a couple of hits last night.
Well, the no-hitter ended here tonight, but Matt Moore of the Giants has a no-hitter going against the Dodgers through 5 innings.
Giants lead at 3-0. Dodger Stadium. Giants traded their outstanding third baseman Matt Duffy to Tampa Bay to get Matt Moore. Whistler, who's pretty much been rolling along here, has been behind in the count throughout the 7th inning. He walked Lamb. Haniger hit a deep fly ball. Now it's 2-0 on Chris Owings. Jazz Rowe continues warming up in the Brave bullpen. Drop to third. Garcia goes to first. Goldie comes in with the first D-back run, the RBI for Chris Owings.
Garcia had thoughts about throwing home on that play, but decided just to take the sure out across the diamond.
So a 3-1 ball game, and here's Ricky Weeks Jr. Ricky 250 and 8 home runs. He has singled and been hit by a pitch in this series. Jake Lamb at second, 2 outs and 1 run in. Slider is strike one. Ricky Weeks Jr. 58 plate appearances as a pinch hitter this year. A 191 batting average with 5 RBIs.
Yeah, Whistler really mixing it up this inning. Only 5 fastballs, 8 sliders, 1 curve, and 2 changeups. Really going to his off-speed stuff here in the 7th.
He's ahead of Ricky Weeks Jr. 0-2. There's Sam Nonek Noriega working left field tonight. Pitches for Matt Whistler, 52 strikes. Got him. That ends the 7th. Diamondbacks get 1. It's 3-1 Atlanta. 7 innings at Chase Field. Matt Whistler, 6 no-hit innings. Diamondbacks finally on the board. They trail it 3-1. Robbie Ray not exactly sharp with the command and location tonight. There were a lot of pitches, but didn't pitch badly at all. 2 earned on 6 hits in 5 innings. We've seen 2 innings of Silvino Bracho just back up to the minor leagues tonight. And now here's Jake Barrett, a 4.44 ERA in 55 appearances, coming off another rough outing Tuesday against Atlanta. And he came on in the 8th inning with a 4-3 lead, gave up 3 runs.
Yeah, Jake could really use a good one to get back on track. A lot of opportunities in that D-backs bullpen moving from this point till the end of the season. Everybody's going to get an opportunity to show what they can do, and the guys that get the job done are going to find themselves in more leverage positions. The guys that don't are going to be pitching mop-up.
His last 7 appearances, Jake has given up 7 earned runs on 8 hits. He's walked 6. And all in just 4 1/3 innings. 1-0 on the Braves catcher, Anthony Rickard. That to left center. That gets to the wall as he splits the gap. And Anthony Rickard pulls into second with his 7th double. Some loud contact off the bat of the Braves catcher.
Wow. Shortstop, Dansby Swanson.
Actually got down near the trademark a little bit. Probably a good thing. Rickard, big, strong guy. When he barrels it, he can hit it a long way.
Dansby Swanson steps up. He's made some spectacular defensive plays tonight. He's also committed an error at shortstop. A single, a stolen base. He scored a run, 1 for 3. Jake Barrett faced Dansby Swanson in Tuesday's game when he came on to start the 8th inning. Swanson singled and went on to score a run. Jake gave up 3 hits in that inning, including a 3-run double to Matt Kemp. Hard slider missed, and it's 1-1. Giants now leading the Dodgers 4-0. They're in the 6th inning at Los Angeles. Only has it at first. He'll take it himself. And Rickard moves up 1 away.
Productive out that time for Dansby Swanson. I guarantee you in college he was never asked to move a runner up. If there's a runner at second base, they wanted him to drive it in, but good solid fundamental baseball there. Moves the ball to the right side to put a runner at third base with less than 2 outs in the inning.
And Gordon Beckham will be the hitter. An RBI double his last time up. He was walked intentionally back in the 2nd. Infield in for the D-backs, and there's ball 1. Beckham, a native Georgian. The Braves seem to collect those guys. Went to high school in Atlanta, played his college ball in Athens. He's a Georgia Bulldog. 1st round pick by the White Sox, the 8th overall pick in the 08 draft. Played almost 6 years with Chicago. Swip shot to first. Goldie will take it himself. Rickard has no choice but to stay at third, and that's the 2nd out.
You talk about the Braves signing guys from the area. They've been notorious for that. I think more so than any other organization in baseball. They really harvest the good players from their own backyard.
Dansby Swanson's another one of those guys. He grew up in the Atlanta area. So if they don't draft them themselves, they go out and get them. And Whistler, the pitcher, will hit here in the top of the 8th inning. He's got a record third and 2 outs. Barrett wanted to throw the fastball, but he missed, and it's 3-0 on the pitcher. Ender and Ciarte on deck. An all Arizona State battery here with Gozuish and Barrett. Take it all the way. There's strike one. Sun Devils in the house. Then there's the U of A guys. This is chopped in the hole, Lamb in front of Owens. Nice play by Jake, throws him out. Barrett strands the leadoff double, keeps it a 3-1 ball game.
Pretty fascinating. It'll show you what the difference between the two. Their two nights.
Wow. All right, you will crunch the numbers. Busy night for Brandon Webb. All over the ballpark here tonight, but he'll be with us on Diamondbacks Live. Stephen Bob the minute the game ends. We'll see you then. A long way. You have asked for graphic support on one of your elements coming up on Diamondbacks Live. You have a comparison between the starting pitchers, don't you?
Yeah, comparing the pitches per inning between Ray and Whistler. Pretty fascinating. It'll show you what the difference between the two. Their two nights.
Wow. All right, you will crunch the numbers. Busy night for Brandon Webb. All over the ballpark here tonight, but he'll be with us on Diamondbacks Live. Stephen Bob the minute the game ends. We'll see you then.
Well, he just seems so proud of himself, doesn't he? I like it. Nice job by Webby asking for the graphics. Well, here's Matt Whistler back out there for the bottom of the 8th inning with a 3-1 lead. He's given up just 1 hit. He has walked 3, struck out 3, and he's only 4 over the minimum. And he'll work to Tuffy Gozuish, Yasmani Tomas, and Gene Segura here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Diamondbacks have been out hit 8-1. They trail it 3-1.
I would guess that if Whistler gets a runner on base, probably going to pull the plug on him. I mean, he's pitched such an outstanding ball game tonight. If he gets 1 runner on base and he's responsible for that 1 runner and you get him out of there, he can't lose the game.
Well, they had Chaz Rowe, the right-hander and former Diamondback, warming up earlier in their bullpen. And now they've got the lefty going as well. Ian Kroll. Here's Tuffy to lead it off. First pitch is skied back here. Well, one thing that's really helped Matt Whistler get deep into this ball game as he starts the 8th inning. Very, very efficient, although he had a 22 pitch first inning. But then in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings combined, he threw 22 pitches.
Wow.
And he's at 92 right now, 54 strikes. Goldie single to lead off the 7th. The only hit and run so far for the Diamondbacks. Came in a Chris Owings ground down. Tuffy, one down in the 8th. Yasmani Tomas now. Tomas struck out in his first at bat tonight, 0 for 1. Daniel Hudson is warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. That young man needs a baseball.
Yeah, he does.
He's been working hard tonight. He's ready to go, waiting for that last out. Tomas gets this in the air to center for Inciarte. 2 outs.
Yeah, that kid, every half inning, they run down to the dugout in the hopes of getting the warm-up ball between innings. This young man has been hustling up and down that aisle all night long, and he comes so close right here. How about a ball? Give me a ball. Oh! I got to bring my glove next time.
To try again. He's got a determined look on his face. 2 outs on 4 pitches. Talk about efficient, Matt Whistler. Here's Gene Segura.
Trying to get position. That's like blocking out on a foul shot.
Box out.
Try to pin his buddy up against the rail so he can get into the aisle first.
Hey, it's every kid for himself in these situations.
Right. Ready to pounce.
Segura takes it out to Kemp. Drops it in front, a base hit. Second hit tonight for the Diamondbacks. A 2-out base runner for Michael Bourne. Speaking of kids, calling all kids, attention. If you're between the ages of 10 and 16, you can be part of an upcoming D-backs telecast. Come on out Sunday, right here to Chase Field. The season's final Fox Sports Arizona and Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions are from 11:30 to 1 at the Sandlot near Baxter's Den during the D-backs and the Reds game. You might even get to meet Jody Jackson. Here's Michael Bourne.
Well, you know it hurts when you throw your bat down and walk away. Fastball inside.
Amazing how often it misses the guard.
Just above the top of that guard.
Michael in center. A.J. Pollock makes his return tomorrow for the series opener against the Reds. We'll see how Chip Hale wants to navigate that roster situation. 1-1 on Bourne. .100 pitches, 60 strikes for Matt Whistler. Trying to get through the 8th. Michael had a 3-hit night here Monday, 4 hits last night, including 2 triples. So far tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk. Strikes out Michael Bourne. That's 4 strikeouts for Matt Wisler. He has completed 8 innings with a 3-1 lead. After spending the last month in the minor leagues, 8 innings tonight. He gave up just 1 run on 2 hits. Had some nice defense turned behind him, certainly. He walked 3, struck out 4, and took a no-hitter into the 7th inning before Goldie's leadoff single ended that.
A perfect example of location more than stuff. The fastball was very average. His slider doesn't really do anything exceptional. Curveball, changeup. He used a few of those pitches, but he hit his spots all night long, and when he missed in his favor.
And he's getting hugs all around in the Braves dugout, so it looks like Matt Wisler's night is over after 8 innings of 2-hit baseball. And now the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Daniel Hudson. He'll work the 9th inning. Huddy, a 6.11 ERA, his 56th appearance. He came on to strike out Matt Kemp to win the 7th inning last night, the only batter he faced in that ballgame. Ender Inciarte leads off the 9th. Ender with a pair of singles tonight. He has scored a run. And Chip Hale mentioned after the ballgame last night another bullpen blow-up that we might start seeing more of Daniel Hudson and Randall Delgado in some of these later game situations. Those two lately have worked primarily 6th, 7th inning or so. We've seen a lot of Jake Barrett late in the ball games and a lot of Enrique Burgos. Both guys are struggling right now. But Huddy really seems to have turned things around. He's worked scoreless baseball in 11 of his last 12 outings, including 10 straight.
His location has been much better. His slider has been much better, and his luck has been much better.
That's true too. And it seemed like about a month where every little bloop and bleeder dropped in against him. Ender tomahawked that one, and it's 1-2.
Oh, what a difference 24 hours makes for the Diamondbacks offense. They had a season high 18 hits in the 11-inning game last night, 2 tonight.
And, you know, Matt Wisler gets called up after a month in AAA just to make this start, and you think, all right, the way they've been hitting the ball in this series, they'll kill this guy. But boy, he was tremendous. So now it's up to Huddy to keep it a 3-1 ball game. Ties up Inciarte. Yes, he went, David Rackley. 1 down in the 9th.
That's that improved Daniel Hudson slider down and in. Looks like it's going to be a strike on the inside corner, and then just dive bombs out of the zone. Inciarte can't check.
You see anything with his arm angle that's changed lately?
I don't really notice anything differently. Of course, changes are so subtle that you might not notice it unless Daniel or Mike Butcher told you what the change was.
Yeah. Adonis Garcia walked and singled. He scored a run tonight. Arm angle has always been an ongoing topic of discussion with Daniel Hudson ever since the 2 Tommy Johns. lifts that to right field. Yasmani Tomas makes a nice running grab. Well, that's a great example, Bob. Last month against Daniel Hudson, that drops in for a base hit.
It probably drops in and gets underneath Tomas's glove for a triple.
You're right.
That's the kind of luck he had there for quite a while, but this time it hangs up just long enough for Tomas to make a shoestring catch.
It's a couple of nice running grabs in the ball game by Yasmani. Now the D-backs will put the shift on with 2 outs for Freddie Freeman. Freeman had an RBI single in the 3rd. He walked his last time up. Makes a big cut at that one. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll have Goldie, Jake Lamb, and Mitch Haniger, 3, 4, and 5. Up the middle. Chris Owens is there. A 1-2, 3-9 for a Huddy. Diamondbacks down 3-1. Goldie will lead it off. Still looking for that baseball. Braves 3-1 as we start the home half of the 9th inning, and boy, BB persistence pays off.
I'm telling you.
He's been trying to get a ball for 9 innings. He got some help, but everybody is covered now.
He gets the put out. The young man in the gray t-shirt gets an assist. Nice going. Nice going.
Let's have a look at that thing.
Got a feeling that's going to be underneath his pillow tonight.
And for a while, probably. Well, here's the Braves closer, Jim Johnson, on with a 3-1 lead. He got the save Tuesday, his 11th of the year. His 49th appearance. Goldie will lead it off. He singled and scored his last time up. Here's a rocket toward the right field corner. It's off the top of the fence and foul into the bullpen. Oh boy, just missed it. Kicked off the top of that bullpen fence and foul ground, and it's allowed strike one.
Just a little bit too much side English that time. That ball slicing the whole way down the right field line. Hits the top of the fence just in foul territory and on over into the Braves bullpen. Oh man, that's close.
Goldie has homered twice in this series. He's knocked in 4 runs. He scored 7 times. His homer last night is 20th of the year. Two balls and one strike. Jake Lamb on deck. Mitch Haniger after that. 2-2. Boy, Goldie, since the batting average dipped just below 290 back on July 24th, he's hitting .352 over the last month. It's been a season of peaks and valleys for Paul this year. Well, remember, go back to the middle of May, he was hitting .220. Lays off the curveball, and he's worked it full 3-2. Archie Bradley starting to get loose down to the Diamondback bullpen. He could just be getting some work in. But he's getting it cranked up down there. Another 3-2 to Goldie.
Archie's scheduled to start the third game of that Cincinnati series
on Sunday against Homer Bailey. Yeah.
Probably just getting some side work in. They wanted to save it until late in the ball game, just in case they needed an extra arm in that bullpen.
Well, the way things went last night, that's probably a good idea. D-backs used 8 pitchers in the ball game last night. One more time on 3-2. Fix that one foul.
With Goldie, Braves are kind of bunching their outfielders. Markakis is straight up in right, Ender Inciarte a step or two to the gap, but Matt Kemp way over into the gap in left center. They just don't think that Jim Johnson is going to throw a pitch that Goldie will pull down into that left field corner.
He drives it toward the right field corner, and once again he hits it foul. So this will be pitch number 11 coming up.
Johnson trying to find that hole in Goldie's swing. Look at all those pitches scattered all over the strike zone, in, out, down.
Freddie Freeman is there. 1 out.
Oh, by the way, Matt Moore of the Giants still has his no-hitter through 7.
Wow. Giants lead 4-0 at Dodger Stadium. Jake Lamb walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Jake 3 doubles and a home run in the series. Fastballs in there for strike 1.
This would be a golden opportunity for the Giants to climb back into the race. They were 3 games behind the Dodgers going into play tonight. If that score holds up this evening, obviously that'll go down to 2 games, and then the Braves go to San Francisco. The Dodgers are hosting the Cubs.
A little slight difference there.
So possibly a chance for the Giants to climb up the ladder a little bit on the Dodgers.
They've just gone to the 8th inning in LA. Jake Lamb down a ball and 2 strikes. Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game. Brandon Webb and Todd Walsh standing by. Thanks again to Webby for stopping by the booth. It's good to have him here.
Always good to see Webby.
Can't be a stranger like that. But he's a little tired. He made a few national announcements. He went national with a couple of statements.
Big time, yeah.
Just putting some stuff out there. Two and two. Mitch Haniger on deck. Don't forget, fans, A.J. Pollock scheduled to return to the lineup tomorrow. His first game of the year. You can still get tickets for that ball game. dbacks.com. Braden Shipley and Brandon Finnegan. Archie Bradley will start the series finale Sunday against Homer Bailey. The Reds are in for 3 tomorrow night. Alumni game Saturday. And after the weekend, we hit the road. We only have 2 more road trips left. Go to San Francisco, Colorado, and Los Angeles. Then back for a long homestand. Still 2-2 to Jake Lamb. Got him.
Jake has started to show some signs that he was coming around with the bat, but his biggest problem tonight was just swinging at bad pitches. Chasing a lot of pitches up out of the zone. That slider down and in from Whistler.
Well, it's up to Mitch Haniger now. They need a base runner. Chris Owings is on deck. Mitch tonight 0 for 3. He's got 2 hits in the series. Drops that curveball. Strike 1. Fly ball right field. Nick Markakis. Well, a tremendous outing by young Matt Whistler tonight. Jim Johnson gets the save, his second in this series, and the D-backs will have to settle for a 4-game split against the Braves.
Yeah, as hard as it is to swallow, sometimes you really do have to just tip your cap to the opposing pitcher. Matt Whistler, I don't think they were expecting what they got from him tonight, but his command was outstanding, and he worked his way through this D-backs lineup with relative ease.
Well, Brandon Webb is standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Steve, thank you very much. And the Braves walk off. Always hard to win a 4-game series. That's what they say anyways. But Brandon, if you are a connoisseur of a well-pitched baseball game, tonight was your night, right?
We got it tonight. Yeah, it was very fun to watch.
And again, you have asked for graphic support to compare and contrast the night of both starting pitchers, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, it's totally different from what Ray did to compete than what Whistler did to compete. They did it 2 different ways.
All right, well, there's lots to look at here tonight, so we'll do that. Plus, the standard fare, we'll get up to Bob Brenly, his look at this one here tonight. Plus, we'll break this one down. If you're going to get graphic support, then I'm going to take a long, hard look at the ceremonial first pitch from our guy, Brandon Webb. Jody Jackson is down at field level. She'll be inside the Arizona Diamondbacks clubhouse. And, of course, we'll hear from the skipper and manager, Chip Hale, in the wake of this one, a 3-1 loss as the Atlanta Braves take the 4th and final game of the series. So our coverage continues here from Chase Field and Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks Live when we come back.